What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. And as always,
Mm.
I'm joined by the Jason Taylor to my Zach Thomas, Dolphin fan. What's good, homie?
I'm good, bro. Man, these goosebumps are killing me over here, man. I know you can't tell right now, but man, the
The
officially
anticipation.
the oh yeah, the Tua Tagovailoa era has officially begun, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Beautiful thing.
And what's great about this is I have a second intro in the work, guys, from a different creator. And it looks like there's going to be in time for some Tua highlights to be added to that.
Ah,
So I've told
very
them to hold
good.
off and wait for Tua's debut and throw some of those in there. So if there are any, and God willing, there will be. So I want to say what's going on,
Mm.
everyone. Sorry about the delay. We just had some technical difficulties. But what's up, Jason Greaves, Vickin, Tombstone, Chad, Marino's Goat, Jazz 803, shout out to Australia. Go Fins, Powerhouse TJ, Word of Mouth, Esteban, what's good?
Mm. Shout out to
KLJ,
everybody.
El Reezy, Tommy Brinkley. And Esteban thought the delay was you getting a couple coronas. Shake Money,
Well,
what's going on? Joe
that as
B, how
well.
you doing, fam? Foxing
Shout
around,
out.
what's going on? Sharif, Michael Pulisic, what's going on? Troy Hicks, Havoc, what's going on, brah?
Shout out to you, homie. Shout out to everybody.
How you doing,
Appreciate
bro?
everybody showing up again,
How
man.
you doing though? Are you excited? You're like, it doesn't it suck that it's on a buy, so you got to wait extra
Um,
long too, eh?
I know,
But
man.
hey,
It's
man,
killing me.
we waited that long for them to draft him. I mean, what's another couple days? You know what I mean?
The anticipation is killing me, bro. Sunday is not gonna be Sunday is not gonna be much fun for me because like I said, the anticipation is at an all time high, bro. And it, you know, until I officially see him, start, in 2 weeks, it hadn't really sunk. It still hadn't sunk in officially yet, bro. I'll be
Mhm.
honest. But yeah, I can't wait to see him on the field. I'm nervous, but I'm anxious at the same time. Because I just at the end of the day, man, I just want the kid to succeed. If he succeeds, the team more than likely is gonna have a high level, a huge chance of success, and that's ultimately the most important thing is the overall team success. So can't wait to see can't wait to see Tua, this kid on the field, and yeah, man, it's just killing me, bro. It's cool. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait.
Yeah. So we got a couple things we're gonna talk about, guys. We're gonna talk about the whole Fitzpatrick situation right now. We're also going to talk about the fact that it's official. Basically, we'll go over where it came from, the source, where it started from, about Jordan Howard officially being on the trade block right now. But let's start with something, EM. I'm going to throw you a curveball. Are you ready? It's Dolphins related and it's
Absolutely.
big news, and it could impact Tua's first start.
Absolutely. Let's get it.
So on Instagram today, my friend, Austin Jackson posted this that he's cleated up. Those are
Mm.
on Austin Jackson's feet, and I believe beneath his feet is the Dolphins training facility, the indoor field in their training facility, my friend.
Wow, I hadn't seen. It's the first time I've seen this, bro. Um, man, I am. This is very good news. If he is, if he's further along in you know, his process of him getting back on the field and getting healthy. Oh, that's gonna bode. I mean, that's very good news for Tua. Um, next Sunday. So, mm, yeah, I'm very, very good news, bro. Very good news. Mm.
I just want to say shout out to the homie, I was gonna say in the comments, but you just said it before I give my thoughts on Austin Jackson. Shout out to the homie Fake Spike 94, one of our Patreons. He said, you know, I'll actually, you know what? I'll bring it up. He said, "Hey, Reason, I need some merch, bro. I'm trying to represent." So Fake Spike, we
Shout
all
out to you, homie.
we have passed 1,500. We're almost at 1,530. Shout out to everyone new here. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 2K, because at 2K we'll do another giveaway. And anyways, at 2K, I am also going to officially start selling merch for the channel, guys. And just a heads up, another reason to get us to 2K, some anticipation for y'all. I've got 5 different designs that'll be lined up and ready to drop on shirts, hoodies, beanies, maybe some coffee mugs, because I know likes his coffee and stuff.
Absolutely.
So and hats. So I've got 5 different designs that we will be dropping when we get to that merch level. I'm just waiting until 2K. 2K is a nice round number where we'll not only do a giveaway, maybe we can give away some of our merch. I'll get it set up.
Absolutely.
I'll get it set. Our merch site will be set up for the 2K when we officially hit 2K. I feel like I'm talking about Y2K. For when we hit 2K, and you know what? That person will have their choice of any item on the new merch store. We'll hit you with that. That'll be the 2K giveaway. So, but yeah, we're gonna have 5 different designs. I ain't gonna tell y'all, and I know EM's gonna ask me when we go backstage exactly what they all are.
I got somewhat of an idea.
Yeah, I think one I have told you about. Two of them, one's a meme, 2 are basically variations of something that y'all should keep in, that should be pretty obvious, and then another 2 are gonna be basically new mottos here going forward. So be on the lookout for that, man. That'll be hitting at 2K, so y'all are gonna really, really like that, man. I'm telling y'all. So that's what we'll do with the giveaway, man. We'll either we'll keep it to the people that got us to 2K. So we'll give something away from the merch store or whatever. But anyways, my thoughts on this whole Austin Jackson thing. Here's the real question, bro. And Fake Spike says I'll buy all 5, bro. Definitely need me a hoodie, bro. I'm telling you, they're gonna be.
Shout out to you.
And then the next wave, and guys, I've got mad designs, so don't worry. The next wave of ideas is going to be a little bit more personalized to me and EM. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So y'all will like the next wave of merch that'll come after this one. I'm telling y'all, we're going to have mad design. We're going to have the most pop-in merch store by the end of this year because of all the ideas I got in mind, man. And actually EM knows what some of them are. I've told him. But anyways, Austin Jackson. My whole thing with Austin Jackson is thank God. Because, I was really impressed of Robert Hunt's play against Rick Armstead. I wasn't as impressed with his play this past weekend against the Jets and Greg Williams when he made those second half adjustments. And it hurt my boy Solomon, and I think me and you talked about this privately. And, communication is clearly an issue. And I can give y'all an example. Look at how easy, especially like those first, before Austin Jackson got hurt, the first 4 games? You look at the first 4 games, look at every time. Look at how good their combination, their communication was. Kinley could arc a guy out wide, have no problem that Jesse Davis is just going to take him on and contain him, and then he could move on to anyone if they're sending a third man or if there's someone's trying to stunt from the middle to the A gap, he can take over. Problem is with Robert Hunt, he doesn't have that luxury because I don't think the communication is there, and on top of that, Robert Hunt's learning.
Yeah.
So,
but it's
not an indictment on Robert Hunt. It's
right.
He needed again, especially for that position. We talk time and time again. The offensive line, especially tackles, those are like, next to quarterback and corners. Those are that's probably the offensive line is probably the and you can make an argument for a zero tech, but like that's just more like technique, right? This is more like in terms of like learning and technique, but like. like my whole thing with that is, bro, like, it's he needed, but at the same time, what did I tell everyone? I said there were going to be ups and downs if we had 3 rookies on the offensive line. We only have 2, but we've seen technically all 3. Austin Jackson, I never thought I would say this, but Austin Jackson coming back allows Jesse Davis, even though he was the weak link, he wasn't having games as as bad as what Robert Hunt was just coming off of. You know what I mean? Like it was 2 or 3 pressures. It wasn't 4 pressures, 4 hurries, and then Solomon Kinley suffering because of him too. You know what I mean? And what I posed to Ball Game, what I posed to you, like, if you think about this, like what I posed on the show, if you line up, you give me a 3-4 front, all right, and you line up, all right, and you line, or let's say, hold on, let me give you something different. Oh yeah, let's go through it for 3-4 front. Anyways, let's say the nose tackle isn't Aaron Donald, and you've moved him to the left end, our right side, and you got now that nose tackle shading shoulders of Karras and Kinley. Now that kind of forces them into a combo block, and now you got one-on-one with Donald and Hunt. And I agree with one of our subscribers said about the cut blocks, 110%. Problem is, I've now just given you a scenario where, like, that's not really an option off the line, right? Off the initial bird. So, I don't want to see that, bro. Like that's
I get it. and I agree 100%.
If I see the Robert Hunt I saw from San Francisco, I'm okay with it. If I see the Robert Hunt I just saw against the New York Jets, it's going to be a long day, and now that's the blind side, my friend.
But, we talked about this earlier, and we talked about the concern about Aaron Donald, him being isolated one-on-one with really either of our offensive linemen, during stretches of the football game. And I told you that, the coaches know what type of player he is, and I don't anticipate that scenario being consistent in this game. Aaron Donald, as great as he is, this particular game next Sunday. Aaron Donald is not. I'm not that concerned about him. Listen, I'm concerned about the talent, but I'm not necessarily concerned about him. Having that much of an impact to influence the outcome of the football game. Because I think first off, Aaron Donald's he's an interior player, and you can, in terms of getting your lineman help when you're matching up with him, it's easier to do that as opposed to a edge player, in my opinion. And Aaron Donald, even if they move him up and down the line, they're going to move him. They're basically a 3-4 team. So Aaron Donald is primarily going to be playing one of those 3 down lineman positions.
But yeah, exactly. But I said I had him lined up as the end.
Right, but still, even then, if you have him lined up as a 3 tech or a 3-4 defensive end, he's still going to be lined up on the interior. He's not going to be lined up on the edge.
Yeah, but you can have them. You can either have them rotate to the left pre-snap, or you can have them out wide, and you can drop back that outside linebacker could very well drop back into coverage, whether it be the flats or whatever.
That's true. I've never seen Aaron Donald lined up, that wide, in terms of like a 6-7 technique. I've only seen him 5 maybe at times, but definitely, 0 to 3.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that wide if we're only in a 5. If we're only in a 5 set up front, we don't have extra protection. You don't really have to be out that wide.
Well, yeah, but
all you're doing is you're playing with your 0 tech. You're just shifting him and your shade, and now all you're doing is creating a mismatch. That's all you're doing.
Right, but what I'm saying is he's primarily an interior player, and I think, in my opinion, in terms of scheming that player, getting help for him, so many ways you can kind of give your either Kinley or Hunt or whatever player that's he's lined up directly over. It's many ways you can it's easier to give help to an interior player as opposed to a edge player. You can keep your back if you have him lined up, from 0 to 3 technique. You know what I mean? You can obviously double team him with 2 linemen, if you don't go that route, you can always leave your back end to chip him. On the even if they line him wide, you can leave your back inside. Now that's going to hamper. That's going to hamper our. If you have to keep a back end, which I fully anticipate Miami doing that at times. It's going to put a little hamper on your in terms of it's going to take a player out of your passing, out of the passing game. But you have to do what you have to do to minimize this guy's impact on the football game, because he's that kind of player.
All you got to do is have him lined up as the left end, or as a defensive tackle if you want to count the right end, and then as your nose, if you're in a 3 front, all you do is, like I said, you have the nose just shade shoulders, and then you could even put Aaron Donald now shading the inside of Hunt and the outside of Kinley, and now Kinley is in a predicament where 2 guys are shading shoulders right now.
Yeah, but again, like I said, he's primarily an interior player, and
but they move him out on the end. But he plays defensive tackle and right end. They shift him around the 3-man front. They just don't strictly use him.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're a base 34 team. So what I mean by interior, that applies to not just the 0 tech, but that's the 0, 1, 2, or 3. Wherever he's lined up, they're still interior.
That's what I'm saying. I'm having him lined up as a 3, and I just shade shoulders with him, and then I use my nose, and I'm shading shoulders with him. Now you got a problem.
Yeah. Well,
and all I got to do is, and if I drop that outside linebacker into coverage in the flats or back into a hole behind him or whatever, and now all of a sudden. There you go. I've got you're bringing a 3-man front. All you're doing is rotating, and you see it all the time. Who was it? I know the Patriots did it to us where they rotated their guys like that and brought them tight to the left, and then the Jaguars were doing it as well too. And here's the problem: the Jets did it at times, but now the problem with the second half is. And I talked with this Richmond Webb, and I also talked with this ball game that our episode should be releasing tonight. Now Greg Williams has laid the blueprint.
Oh yeah,
and they're going to keep doing it until you correct it.
Oh yeah, definitely, no doubt.
And here's the problem: now if they keep doing it, better talent. Because really, who scares you across that front? Only like Quinnen Williams. Other than that, like who else really scares you?
I would agree. But I just think,
like now without just not even Aaron Donald, you got Michael Brockers who can he can move inside too, like that. So,
but if I'm bringing extra attention to Aaron Donald, I'm gonna take my chance with somebody else beating one of my other guys. If we have to double Aaron Donald, that's gonna free up pretty much everybody else on that front. I'm gonna take my chances with somebody else beating him as opposed to Aaron Donald. I'm doing everything I can to take him to minimize his impact.
That's basically what I was implying with.
Yeah, I agree.
Setting up like if you're in a position where Kinley is basically both shoulders are shaded by, like, let's say Brockers on the inside and then Aaron Donald like on the other shoulder, like now you basically have to hammer it in his head that you automatically need to help Hunt.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Problem with that too is Karras has struggled at times too this year.
Yeah, I am sending extra. I am sending extra resources to him.
Damn, like I'm telling you, man. Durham Smythe is going to be in line beside or stacked behind Robert Hunt, like they're best friends, probably. Bro.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So Solomon McKinley, I can't have him because I want Solomon McKinley, especially like if you're in zone, right? Like, you kind of want Solomon McKinley to be freed up a little bit there. So like that's why Durham Smythe kind of, he's going to have to put on a pretty good performance too. And Gaskin and Breda, as small as they are, Gaskin, we talk about how he plays tough, and I agree, but he's going to have to play tough in the blocking game too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I do think if Jackson comes back, I would not be surprised if Davis goes right back to right tackle.
Oh yeah. I think just again, and to touch on Robert Hunt a little bit, the encouraging thing about him is that, the issues when teams opt to send 4 and he's isolated one-on-one with players, he looks like he belongs. He doesn't look overwhelmed. It's just when teams opt to bring pressure, it confuses it, and that's natural for a rookie. It's not like you said. It's not an indictment on him. It's just growing pains.
Aaron Donald's a 2-on-1 by himself, though. Let's be honest with ourselves.
But
36 pressures and 8 sacks this year so far. Like this, do you realize this man is on like pace for like 23 sacks this year, bro? Like this guy's on pace for 23 sacks and like something like 111 or 12 pressures or something stupid like that.
He's had a 20 sack season before as well. What, 2 years ago? Yeah, so he's a load for sure. He's a load. But I will say this in terms of scheming him. I go back to the Super Bowl.
Jalen Ramsey doesn't worry me. Just gonna have to cut block the hell out of him. That's all. Just get in his head early, make him worry about his knees and his ankles, and that he's gonna lose one of them, and then there you go.
One thing we can't say though, Flores has success coaching against Aaron Donald in the Super. Just to go back to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, he pretty much took him. I know it's not the same team, but schematically, he had a lot of success in scheming Aaron Donald out of that game.
Yeah, they wiped out Aaron Donald and Todd Gurley.
Yep.
And CJ Anderson. When CJ Anderson hit the turf too.
Yeah, so
CJ Anderson was tearing up that. CJ Anderson was tearing up that
the league up to that point.
If only we could stop the run like that right now. Oh my God.
Well, hopefully, that I'm definitely I definitely think that's something they're working on in this, this week and next week. So
this is gonna be, I'm telling you, man. This is not the time to come out because sometimes teams do it, especially after gaining momentum. It's like a big irony of a bye week. This is not the week, gentlemen, coming up to come out flat. All right, like y'all better come out like some bats out of hell. Like I know your leader and your galvanizer got replaced, but he got replaced by a pretty damn good quarterback. So, I mean, let's just keep it moving.
Let me ask you this: Does the Rams' offense concern you at all? If it does, what aspects of their offense concerns you?
Darrell Henderson's had a pretty good year. He's been pretty consistent. The running back. Like Cam Akers has been Jared Goff has been hit and miss, but when he's hit pretty well. Robert Woods is pretty solid. Does he concern me? Not really. Van Jefferson, he looked better on Hard Knocks than he's looked this year so far. Tyler Higbee, no, they have a pretty good offensive line. I'll give them that. They do have a pretty good offensive line. Offensively, like the thing is, the one thing I've noticed them, they're Jekyll and Hyde, and like they've even done it in games. Like go back to the Buffalo game, right? Like Buffalo was like blowing them out, and then all of a sudden the Rams turned it on, and like score. And then within that game, like end 38-35, like they made it like super interesting and stuff too. Like they have the ability to turn it on because Sean McVay is a pretty good offensive. He's what everyone tried to tell us Adam Gase was. Right. Sean McVay actually is the living embodiment of that guru, offensive guru, et cetera, et cetera. But, Darrell Henderson's been pretty consistent. Robert Woods is deadly. Higbee is a pretty good red zone threat. Goff is Cooper Kupp is pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty solid. But we can contain Kupp and Robert Woods, yeah. I agree.
I agree.
Can Eric Rowe erase Tyler Higbee? I mean, he erased George Kittle.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, Tyler Higbee should be a freaking off day for it should be a day off for Eric Rowe. You know what I mean? So,
I'm gonna be
Darrell Henderson. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 70 or 80, but we could be in a position where we shut down everything else. That even with a rookie quarterback, we get up 14 points or 17 points, and it's 14-7 or 17-7, and it's kind of cruise control for the defense from there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we match up really well with their offense, to be honest with you.
We wiped their offense pretty much out. Other than Darrell Henderson, and the only reason why I say that is he's been consistent and our run defense hasn't. So, I mean, that's the only right reason. Maybe. But I think we can wipe out everything else, forcing 3 and outs, or like, you know, they only get 2 first downs on a drive and then they punt it, we get the ball back,
Right,
and
right,
then it's,
right.
we get rolling again. Like, I think we'll get into it in our preview show, like, next week or whatever, but it's gonna be, the runs and establishing that is gonna be very, very imperative, bro.
I
That's
definitely agree
kind of
with that.
gonna open up a lot of things that they're gonna wanna do, and that's gonna just make Tua's life overall easier and probably a little bit more comfortable in the pocket than if, like, the worst thing that could happen is if we get behind.
Oh, absolutely. And that's with Tua or Fitz, to be honest with you, whoever was
Yeah,
our
we're not a
starting
team
quarterback.
offensively really built
We're
right now to come back.
right. We're a totally different team playing with a lead as opposed to coming from behind. Totally different team. Overall, defense, everything.
Now,
Offense,
I can't
totally different team.
can't say
It's like night and day.
I can't say our weapons have been inconsistent in trying to get us back. All I can say is with Fitzpatrick at the helm, our weapons have been inconsistent and don't give me much faith in terms of getting back if we're down 7 to 14 points. Now, Tua could come out and look like he hasn't lost a step from Alabama, and all of a sudden, I'm confident if we get down by 14, but I haven't seen that yet at the pro level, so I can't make that statement.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
Yeah, I agree.
I will
So,
say this: love you, Fitzy, but you would have taken a sack in the end zone on that rollout that Tua made that throw on. Sorry to tell you, bro. Like, Fitzy would have been eating the L and Dolphins painted in the end zone, bro. And Tua, you saw me and you warned everyone it wasn't a question about whether his athleticism would be better, or it wasn't a question of whether his arm would be better. And Fitz said even weeks ago he can make a million throws. I can't. It was a question of him with the playbook, film sessions and the chalkboard in the QB room and the game speed, the terminology. It was more NFL quarterback things as opposed to attributes and talent and passing skill. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. I just still can't believe Tua is starting, bro. I don't know why it just hadn't sunk in yet, but man, um, we're here. We are here, man.
All right,
So,
man. So before we get into the Ryan Fitzpatrick stuff, bro, let's talk about Jordan Howard quickly. So Jordan Howard's officially on the trade block as reported from Albert Breer of SI.com. And it says right here, guys, if you follow my cursor, and with the emergence of Myles Gaskin in Miami, the Dolphins are willing to move veteran Jordan Howard. And this is just after it says the Niners are looking to trade Dante Pettis, and David Njoku is not necessarily on the block, but the Browns will field calls for him. So Jordan Howard, I'm going to ask you, can we get anything more than a bag of footballs for Jordan Howard?
mm, I'm gonna be optimistic. Hopefully,
if you got to think about it, we can't.
Right. I'm hoping Rear can pull a Charles Harris type trade. Get something for him, fifth, sixth. I mean, I'd be doing cartwheels if we were able to get that kind of compensation for him. But to be honest with you, no, man. His contract number one, and then two, he just looks fried. And I don't think he's nowhere near. He doesn't remember. He's nowhere near the player that we thought we were getting when we signed him in the offseason. And I don't anticipate a team taking on that contract. And he's just fried, bro. He just looks disengaged. He just looks like he's collecting a paycheck. And at the end of the day, no, I don't. Again, I'm hopefully, I'm going to be optimistic, but to be honest with you, no, I will be shocked if we're able to get some kind of compensation for him.
I'm hoping Bill O'Brien gets a GM job in the next 2 weeks.
I know, right?
We might be able to get something for him, maybe a first.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get much for him, guys. I think Jordan Howard being on the trade block is, I think they've been fielding calls, guys, since he was a healthy scratch, but they've been trying to make calls. I should put it. I don't think they've been fielding very many, but I think they've been making calls. That $4.75 million cap hit for what you're getting, that's you might have to eat some of that, because I don't know if any team is going to be trading for that. That's, you might as well put a pylon in a number 34 jersey back there with a visor on it and ask it to do the same thing, because you'll get the same production. Now, albeit, as someone who's watched the All 22, he's also been subject to bad blocks from Myles Gaskin, Chandler Cox. Like, he's had, sorry, not Myles Gaskin, sorry, Chandler Cox, Durham Smythe. Like, he's been, Adam Shaheen. Like, so he's been the subject of, some bad blocking in front of him too. But at the end of the day, I mean, we never thought we'd see someone give us worse production than Cannon Balaj, and it's 2020. Here we are. Are we really surprised?
Wow. Yeah, he like I said, I just think, he just looks like he's just collecting a paycheck. To be honest with you, like I said, man, he looks washed. He really does. Physically, mentally, he don't want to take on. He doesn't want to take on any contact. He just looks disengaged. And I think the coaching staff and our organization sees that. They're aware of where he is mentally and phically, and they just trying to get something for him. Oh yeah.
Go join Josh Rosen in the stands with the mask on. All right, let's get into it, because guys, we're gonna open it up to you. There's 92 in the room. Smash that like button. We're gonna open it up to you guys after we go over this. But EMdolphinfan, let's start off with the opening of Ryan Fitzpatrick's Zoom yesterday.
Do we have to, man? That's just going to get me even more upset, bro.
Exactly. That's exactly why we're going to get into it right now.
Man.
We're going to get into this, guys. It's like a minute. And then let's give our thoughts, and let's dive into the whole Ryan Fitzpatrick thing. Let's talk about the destination we talked about earlier. And we're not talking about where me and EM are going to be vacationing with our wives. We'll talk about that too. So let's share this right now. Let's get EM all heated up. It was the heat of the moment. Let's get him all worked up so y'all can hear his thoughts.
Man.
And here we go. We'll start off with Jerome Baker's beautiful face. Shout out to the homie. Love his energy, even if he isn't a good interior linebacker. All right. All right. Let me bring that back up, because I'm going to share the audio. Oh, man. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
JB. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. And we got a guy in our comment section who I was shout out to him. His name is JB. Hopefully it's not him. All right, let's go.
Hey Fitzy, obviously, the news is of the QB change. What was your first reaction when you heard? And what do you think?
You can hear it, right?
Yeah, I can hear it. Unfortunately.
I mean, I was shocked by it. It definitely caught me off guard, and it was a hard thing for me to hear yesterday. Just kind of digesting the news. My heart just hurt all day. Like it was heartbreaking for me. And Flo kind of said what he said and said what he said to you guys as well, and that's the decision and the direction that the organization is going in. And obviously, we've talked in the past, me and you guys, about how I'm the placeholder, and this eventually was going to happen. No matter, it was just a matter of kind of when, not if, and it still just it broke my heart yesterday, and it's a tough thing for me to hear and to now have to deal with, but I'm going to do my best with it.
You better do your best with it.
Right.
Man, Fitz.
I gotta ask you.
Come on, Fitz. Come on, Fitzy.
Is he sulking? And B, hold on. 3 things. B, is he kind of leveraging the love the media and the fans had for him in the situation right now? And actually, C, my friend, this is the big one. Did I already ask this? Is he sulking? Like, do you look at this as openly sulking, and is he kind of tainting the transition to Tua right now?
All of the above. And I told you this morning when we talked about this. All of the above. Fitz, he needs to stop this foolishness, bro. At the end of the day, man, okay, we all know how I feel about Ryan. Before I start, okay, we all know how I feel about Fitz. Okay, nobody's been more supportive of him as a player than me. However, with that being said, I thought that this was highly inappropriate for him to make that to make that public information. Okay. First off, you went on all summer long. You volunteered the information about Tua, about this team transitioning to Tua Tagovailoa at some point. You went on you told anybody that was willing to listen to you you talked about this kid's talent, how he was superior, how his talent level was so superior to yours. Okay. You said you told the world that you were just a placeholder. You were keeping that seat warm to whenever the coaches opted to transition to him. You told everyone that. So you're sitting
here.
I
was going to ask you, that was my C, sorry. What happened to the guy 2 weeks ago that just was, loving Tua and couldn't wait? Because even if we didn't play it when he continued on, he continues on to say it felt like he was fired. And then he goes on, he's like, it was really awkward being in a Zoom session with the guy who fired you and now in the quarterback room with the guy who replaced you. And I was thinking to myself, like, what happened to the fact you love this kid? Because then Tua came on later and he's like, it's like a father-son relationship, but I didn't get that from Fitz. All of a sudden, it was like he wanted to be his father figure because of his position. Now he doesn't have his position anymore. And it's like, well,
exactly.
Like,
it seems disingenuous.
Now, I'm not saying he's not going to continue helping this kid's development. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, Fitz, how you acted is how we expected you to act behind closed doors. Now I got to act. How did you take the news behind closed doors?
Oh, they had to pick him.
The media guy?
Bro, if he's crying public, if he is whining like that publicly, I guarantee you when Flores gave him the news privately, they probably had to pick his behind up off the floor crying. I guarantee you, man. Listen. Again, please don't misinterpret what
I just want to say, Jay Bleezy, fired is the word that Fitz used, not me. That was actually.
And he's not. And last time I checked, he's still collecting a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So no, you didn't get fired.
Still made like $100 million as a quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly. So I don't feel sorry for Fitz in that regard. Now,
and Rhino just says that demoted is the word, and Fitz knew what word he used. Fitz is not stupid. He meant to answer the way he did. I don't like that.
Exactly, Rhino. Exactly.
That Harvard education isn't being mentioned when his response came. And I get it. I feel for Fitz because his play didn't deem him to be pulled. But this whole situation down to guys, it came out today. They figured out, the Dolphins have figured out or identified where the leak about Tua came from. And from the Dolphins investigation, they've discovered that the leak came from Lee Steinberg's office, who's the agent of Tua Tagovailoa. That's what the word on the street is, that the leak came from Lee Steinberg's office, because obviously Tua would have called his family, and then either him or one of his family members would have called the agent let him know. And yeah, that's where the leak about Tua starting came from, guys. Tua's agent's office, Lee Steinberg.
He comes off as, because I have to question, how are you blindsided by this? How are you surprised by this? You knew this was coming.
Because you're 3-3, and you're not like, other than Seattle and the Jets games, your decision making wasn't bad enough to deem you. I get why he was shocked at the timing, but he shouldn't be shocked at the move in general.
Right.
Yeah,
I just think at the end of the day, why I'm so upset with Fitzpatrick. And by the way, I'm seeing all the open letters to Fitz, and man, come on. This is, at the end of the day, this is a business. We can't get our feelings,
Hey, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
I'm a bit.
Right?
Listen. Fitz, and listen, I support Ryan Fitzpatrick. We all know that. But I felt that this was inappropriate for him to, and I guarantee you this pissed Flores off for him to express that publicly. You can imagine.
The league,
exactly.
Flores is probably like, this is such a headache.
I know, exactly, bro. Come on, man.
And Tua's just sitting there. Poor kid's like, I just want to ball out.
Exactly. I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, I just felt like this was inappropriate for him to express that publicly. That should have been left privately between him and whoever, whoever was in the discussion when they, when Flores called him up to his office and informed him that they were going and, Tua was a starter. But yeah, because it just casts number one Flores in a negative light, because they're like, he's saying he's blindsided, yada yada. He didn't anticipate this or whatever. It's kind of looking like Flores. Now he didn't say this, but it's kind of making Flores look like, he's kind of two-faced. Fitz.
Yeah, but I took it as Fitz was actually. I took Fitz implied it was an organizational decision. Because if you remember what Fitz said, let me see. I got the transcripts in front of me. Fitz said, let me bring up the exact quote, because he brought up the organization, bro. He didn't actually kind of like, what did he say? Okay, check it. So he says this. He says, it was heartbreaking for me. Flo said what he said and what he said to you guys as well. And that's the decision, not his decision. That's the decision and the direction that the organization is going in. And obviously we've talked in the past about how I'm a placeholder and eventually this is going to happen no matter whatever. But if you look at that, he tried to also paint the picture that not just Flores, but the organization threw him under the bus. Like, that's how I take that. He's trying to say, like, all different levels threw him under the bus, not just
his approach in his Zoom session should have just been, look, I'm a competitor at the end of the day.
You know what he should have said, bro? It's the coach's decision. Whenever they call my number, I'll go out there. I just ask for me. Keep it as PR and as vanilla as possible. And then behind the scenes, if you want to vent these frustrations, say it in the quarterback room
bro.
Because they'll all listen to you.
It just sounded like he was just, he was like a little kid when they do something wrong and you take their candy away from them. He seemed like, and I'm just keeping it 100. I just thought it was highly inappropriate for him to disclose that publicly like that. And I'm sure it caught Flores off guard, and I know it caught Tua off guard. So yeah, man, I'm disappointed in Fitzy. And I hope this doesn't carry over. I hope he really settles into his role now, and I hope this doesn't create animosity between he and Tua or he and the coaching staff or whatever. So I don't anticipate that, but yeah, you just got to keep that. You keep that information private. So
let me ask you this. What's Fitz's role moving forward now? Do you ask him to be a backup? And then, because even Omar said he gets the sense that he's not done playing football. Do you ask him to be your backup and then reevaluate at the end of the season and see if you can offer him another contract to come on back? Do you, at the end of the season, at the end of the season, if he's done playing, do you offer him do you make an assistant position on the coaching staff for him? Or do you trade him to a team like, I'll let you say the destination, a team like what we talked about earlier,
Dallas Cowboys
going through a quarterback situation and everyone's all of a sudden off the Red Rocket train?
Red
Rifle trains.
I would entertain either scenario. Everything is on the table. So I'm comfortable with Fitz coming back, as long as he's accepted his role mentally, and it's a seamless transition. I would entertain him being a backup. I would entertain bringing him back next year. And also I would entertain the trade. Any player, with the exception of, obviously Tua talking about Loa. Every player on this roster, if the price is right, we can sit down at the negotiating table. Every player.
I don't know if I'm letting you touch either one of my corners right now, but I get what you're saying.
Well,
and I don't know if I'm letting you touch Ogba right now because I got something special there. But I get what
you know what I'm saying. So,
yeah, if you offer me 2 firsts for Ogba, I'm sitting down at the table. Let's go now.
I mean, Yeah. So
It's just going to be more expensive to get those guys.
Right. I'm just saying,
And if you want to talk 5 or 6 first rounders for Tua, I gotta have the conversation, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Well, yeah.
I'm not trading them, but I want to have the conversation just to hear why someone would offer me 5 or 6.
Right. I agree. But in regards to Fitz, I would entertain. Everything is on the table with him.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just really disappointed in how he handled this.
Do you think you could get a 4th or a 5th for him from a quarterback needy team like them who think they can still make? Because I mean that NFC East is so weak, right? Like they could. And I don't think Fitz would love that receiver core.
Oh yeah, I don't think Jerry Jones will make a move like that. I think what's going to happen there is,
ride it out.
Yeah, they'll write. I think they'll hit the tank.
Justin Fields or Trey Lance if they can't get Lawrence.
Yeah. I think they're gonna hit that tank button here soon. So
let's bring on the god of the mod squad, Rhino, because I know he's pretty ticked off at how Fitz handled it. Let it rip, Rhino.
Yeah, dude, I love Fitz. I respect him as a team leader. That's really why I was so surprised. If the guy was for himself and he had that reputation in the past, okay, fine, speak whatever you want to speak. But if you're going to preach this team stuff and then come out in front of the media and complain, all he had to say is, I was heartbroken. I felt bad. I'm in Tua's corner. I'm there for him and the team, whatever they need. And that's it. I'm not talking about it anymore. But no, what is it, 10 minutes, 9 minutes of this? Oh, I feel bad. I mean, and then I watched Tua's interview. Dude, it should be the happiest day in his freaking life, and he needs to start off on a sad note about it. I mean, come on. I'm a team guy, dude. I don't care who it is the quarterback. I'm excited about Tua, but if it was Herbert, I'd be excited for Herbert too, is what I'm trying to say. And it's a team sport. He talks a lot of it. He does a lot of it, but it was very disappointing for him to act that way. And
let me pose this to you,
Rhino.
Hold on a sec. Let me pose this to Rhino and EM, because we got to stay consistent here on Finside the NFL. We all said one of our worries about Josh Rosen sticking around is his attitude and the energy in that room. Fitz has passed off a lot of stuff, helped him between snaps. Do we want to trade him now? Not because we don't like him, but because we don't want that energy in the room with our young quarterback.
Well, that's why I said if he can handle his if he can transition to his new role seamlessly, I would entertain him. But if it's going to create tension between the two, oh no, you have to make a move, I would think.
But I have a question. How do you, as Flores in career, hearing what he said, how do you have faith that he's really into it to help Tua and he's not going to be, I don't know. It's kind of hard, man. I don't know what the hell he was thinking about, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to talk to the press today. How about that? Give it another day. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I agree.
I'm just glad I'm the only one that saw it.
And Rhino, it just seems like all he was talking about Tua all summer long, like he was his son. You know what I mean? I'm just a placeholder. I'm just keeping the seat warm for when they opt to transition to Tua. Yachty talked about.
I'm going to tell you right now, if he's going to be a pouty baby, give me a 6th or a 7th and take him,
bro. I'm telling you, come on, Fitz. You got to do better than that.
I will say this.
I would be shocked. And they kept you around too, for you to be a mentor. If you're now gonna sulk about that and not fulfill that role, why are we holding on to a 37-year-old guy? Like we can go get a viable backup somewhere else, man. We can just say, hey, Jake, you've been promoted for the rest of the season. Rock out.
Come on, Fitz.
I would be shocked if he's not a professional. I would be shocked if he's not. I really would be. And I think he was more hurt about how it got out, because he talked about how his 2 sons heard about it and they probably took him off the fantasy team. I feel that.
That's not Flores's. That's not Flores's problem. No, that's not his problem. He can control that. So
wait, hold on. Let's correct this, EM. Guys, Fitz found out from Flores. He didn't find out through the media.
Exactly.
Fitz and Tua were told directly by Fitz. That's how Tua's agent found out. They were told first, and then it came out. So Fitz knew what was happening. So I don't want to hear if Fitz is going to try and use something like that. I don't want to hear that. Like Fitz is just hurt because.
But it was stolen from him to tell his sons. That's what he's saying.
I'll tell you what it was. Oh, you want to know the real reason what's going on here? AKA, you can follow that on Twitter. That's me at the _real_reason. But the real reason I'm telling you right now is not only his play didn't deem it, and they're in the middle of the wild card race, and he loves playing with these guys. You know what else? He was playing this well off the heels of what he was dealing with personally, and I guarantee you, he wanted to play this season out in some, whether it's personal or he makes it public, in some form of memory to his mother after what happened. You know what I mean? He's dealt with stuff personally, and now it's coming professionally. And that I'm not justifying it. I'm just telling you this is probably why you're seeing Fitz be over emotional the way he is, just because he's dealt with it personally and he's dealt with it professionally. And me and EM had this conversation. This is what I think has gone down too. I think I think I was right. I think the initial move was I think Ross, Greer, and Flores came to an understanding that if this kid's healthy, the bye week
100%
is that's where we're making the change. Problem is, two things happened. Bye week got moved up to where it is now, and just the timing of it getting moved up, we're coming off 2 wins and in the middle of the playoff race. So Flores probably, there's a little piece of him that not only loves Fitzpatrick's, probably like, man, you know what? His play isn't really that bad. But at the same time, we came to this agreement. We came to this decision. It's time to do what's best for the organization right now, and that's fulfill what we came to the agreement of and move forward with Tua. So
what I told you privately, and I'm not discounting what you're saying, and I'm sure they had some kind of plan in place. But I think at the end of the day, when all the smoke settles, why Flores made this move right now, he had Tua. You cannot convince me that Tua has not flashed in practice enough to make this staff comfortable enough to think that if we insert this kid into the starting lineup, he can either match or exceed the production that Ryan Fitzpatrick has given us. There is no way. You cannot convince me other than that. There's no way. So,
yeah, but it's a timing, because if it was like, if you're 1-3, that makes a lot more sense when you're 3-3. And it's just because that was probably the arrangement about the bye week, and the bye week got moved up, and it is what it is.
But I mean,
because we got 2 weeks to prepare him for whatever opponent we got coming out of the gate.
But I mean, if it's 1-3 or 3-3, or if he's outperforming Fitz, he's outperforming Fitz. At the end of the day, this is the coach that prioritizes.
Yeah, but like I said to you earlier, find me a team coming off back-to-back wins, 1 game out of the division lead, right in the thick of the wild card race too, that just goes ahead and benches their starting quarterback.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, that in recent memory, I can't recall that. But again,
that just screams to me the bye week was the plan.
Well, maybe. I'm not discounting that, but I'm just saying, if Tua was not up to speed, I don't care whether the bye week was. I don't care when the bye week was. If Tua was not showing them enough to where they were comfortable in playing him, they would not throw him out there.
But the question isn't whether he's up to speed. That's not what the question is right now.
I think you're both right. Is what I see. I think you're both right. And the key may have been the bye. It may not have been. I think it makes sense personally. And I think the whole thing about the bye, even though the Jets sandwiching the bye was a super duper thing, the bye is the main thing to give them the 2 weeks to get prepared. That's the main thing.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying the most important, in my opinion, the most important reason why we're seeing this move made, no matter what the time frame is because this kid is showing them enough in practice that they're comfortable. They feel like they can truly win with him. I truly believe that.
They both go hand in hand.
Truly believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I had this conversation, like I said to you earlier, when I had this conversation with Richmond Webb, problem is under this new CBA, you're maybe seeing at most 12 hours of practice a week.
Right.
It's like, so I mean, he like for that to be the case, he must have been like it must have been no contest. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Such a limited sample size.
And you know what? It could have been.
You only have 14 padded practices.
Hey, it could. Tua could have just been like, obviously we know Tua is a superior talent. It could have been that this kid was just like, they were just like, damn man, we can't keep this kid on the bench.
Did you see the handoff, EM? Did you see the handoff?
They could have been like, we love Fitz and what he's giving us right now, but damn, this kid's talent is just undeniable. We have to put him out there.
Dude, he's perfect. He's technically flawless. I'm sorry.
So I don't disagree with you, Reed. I initially said that they wanted to get as close to the year mark of Tua being removed from that injury from day
14
one.
days short. 14 days short. So.
Right, we're 14 days short. So yeah, I just think.
What's up, Reason?
Yeah,
what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just wanted to hop in here real quick, Reason. Share a thought with y'all, man. Next Sunday couldn't come any sooner, man. I just hope that this guy will, with the decisions that Flores has made, I just hope that all this gets silenced next week, man, because we should be happy about a transition right now. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be so much going on within, the organization where you got, man, they haven't talked about us all year in the national media, and the first time they do, it just kind of seems like every time they want to talk about us, it's in a negative aspect. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of sick of that. So I kind of just put off national media at this point, man. They don't know anything about the team. They're saying that the O-line is bad, and I mean, it's just bulletin board material at this point. I mean, if I was Flores, that all this disrespect, you just channel it back to the team and use it as bulletin board material, man. I'm just ready for Flores I'm ready for this team to just go out and just prove it to everybody at this point.
I don't think there's any controversy within the team. I think every player there is feeling bad for Fitz because they love him, but I think they're also super excited for Tua. I think they love them both. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any problems.
I'm coming from the aspect that just the fact that it just came out from a media source, man. It wasn't in-house, man. That's what's
it's so freaking agent, dude.
It was the agent. But here's the real thing too. Okay, I've said this multiple times, especially in the YouTube community. The receipts are there. Me and EM have been driving the Tua bandwagon, so I'm like as invested in this much as the only people more invested in his success than me are the freaking Miami Dolphins, okay? Mm-hmm. Like the actual organization, especially for if you want to say me and EM's reputation, if you want to even go that far. But I mean, we've been right so many other times that shouldn't even matter. Anyways, all right, here's the issue. You have now come off a guy who, and I'm just, I know other people say they play devil's advocate, but I'm actually going to sit here and I'm going to give y'all real devil's advocate, okay? Follow along with me on this one. We're 3-3, okay? We're 1-3. We just came off a 2-game winning streak, all right? We're coming off back-to-back blowout wins, albeit the last one, Fitz didn't have great decision-making, and the game before the first blowout win, his decision-making was very questionable against Seattle, okay? He kept us in that game. I don't care what anyone says to me. The only reason we lost by 3 to Buffalo was because of Fitz and Gesicki, more specifically Gesicki in the fourth quarter, okay? The first game to the Patriots, I've gone over this ad nauseum. The third quarter, we only had a minute 25 possession. That was on the defense, couldn't stop the run. All right. The Jaguars, he looked like a Pro Bowl guy again. Okay. I could say the San Francisco games and the Jaguar games were two of his best games in aqua and orange. And I don't think many people would disagree with me. Here's the problem. You're 3-3. There's already so much of an abundance of a pressure on this kid just to start. Now we're past that phase. He's starting. Mm-hmm. We're 3-3. We're one game out of the division lead. We're right in the thick of the wild card race. You want to hit me with some? You want me to hit you with some crazy thing? If this kid comes out here, if he goes 5-5, okay, over a 10-game span, but he throws 15 touchdowns, 7-8 interceptions, throws for around 2,200 yards. Because we went 5-5, people will out here saying, hey, we handed him a team, one game outside of the AFC East race. We only managed to go 500 with him, and we gave it to him coming off a 2-game winning streak. And you all know I'm right. People are going to say this, and they're going to turn around and they're going to say, this kid isn't good enough. We can't. Yeah. We were primed up for a playoff position. Yeah. He couldn't get us into the playoff. Because here's the realistic thing. I want everyone to listen to me. There's 175 people in the room. I want y'all to listen to me real closely because I'm sure out of the 175, there might be some of you in that 175. Don't think for a minute that there aren't fans in this fan base, and a small or medium majority of them, that expect playoffs or bust with this kid taking over the reins, coming off back-to-back wins in the current position we are in right now. Mm-hmm. And that is another thing that is no one is even talking about, but that is going to be, I'm telling you, unless this kid comes out 6-4 or 7-3, we are going to be literally, it's going to be Josh Rosen all over again, just on a winning record. And you're going to have a split fan base again, and it's going to be all because of that. And you know what? That's another, great one. Divorce says, I know I am. See, like I'm telling you right there, like
haters gonna hate.
No, but you know what? It's because this franchise hasn't had a good rookie quarterback in so long. And what's crazy is I just gave you that stat line and we go 5-5. And those same people that will be calling him a bust are the same people that are saying Justin Herbert at 0-4 with his stats is balling out.
Why are you making sense? I don't understand.
I'm telling you, this is about.
You're right. It's 100% true.
I want everyone to mark down the date and look at it. If we end up being just 500, I want y'all to look back and say, you know what? On October 22nd, Reason said, if this kid comes out 5-5 in his 10 starts, throws 15 touchdowns, only 7 or 8 picks, and throws for 2,200 yards, some people are going to be calling him a bust and trying to convince y'all he's a bust. I want y'all to mark it down. Because, guys, it's a rookie quarterback. That's a very realistic pause. I could be right. And what's crazy is the stat line in the record I just gave you. Do you know how many franchises would take that over the first 10 games of the rookie quarterback?
Absolutely.
Joe Burrow hasn't even given you half that over his first 5 games. And people would still call Tua a bust. Mm-hmm. And, here, you wanted me to go temper expectations more? First, I'll let you all take the floor after this. What are Reason's expectations for game 1 of Tua Tagovailoa? I'll tell y'all right now, 225 yards, give me a 60 completion percentage or better, and give me 1 touchdown and no turnovers, whether interceptions or fumbles. And that's a solid first start. You want to add a second or a third touchdown? Knock yourself out. You want to add a rushing touchdown? Knock yourself out. But I ain't going to set the bar. And y'all know damn well there's going to be people out there that are going to say 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 50 rushing yards, and a touchdown. Dolphins win 35-3. Blowout. Y'all know it's y'all know it's coming. And y'all know exactly where it's probably going to be coming from. Multiple places, not just on YouTube, but Twitter as well. It'll be on Twitter too. Don't worry. This is all over platforms. But people gotta, I'm telling y'all right now, temper the expectations. It's great he's starting, but understand the pressure that this kid, he's 22 years old. This is not a grown man, everyone. This is not a 32-year-old man walking in to start with NFL experience. This is a 22-year-old kid. All I'm saying is with your expectations, be fair to the kid, okay? Don't bury this kid. Understand, if you get 5-5, if you get a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, you get over 2,000 yards, you've got something potentially special. Mm-hmm. It may not, and that's the problem with stat line watching. Don't watch stats. Let your eyes tell you the story. Mm-hmm.
There it is. The eye.
And I get sorry for that rant, but I just got to warn y'all, it's coming. Don't think it ain't coming. And even if we go 5-5, which would be phenomenal for taking the pressure. Don't be surprised if it's coming because there's people out here that are expecting, and here's another thing. You know what's even crazier? Even if this kid got us to the wild card, you want to hear something even crazier?
I know exactly.
This guy gets the first round,
Yes.
but we keep preaching to y'all.
Fitz would have done it. Fitz would have done it.
It's totally different. It's a totally different, not only game, but it's a different league, coaching and personnel wise. When you get into the playoffs, don't believe me? Go ask last year's MVP Lamar Jackson. And here's what you'll hear: if he loses, if he takes his team to the playoffs, we get knocked out in the first round. You know what you'll hear? Do we have Lamar Jackson on our hands? Do we have a playoff game? That's what you'll hear.
Oh my God!
I'm telling y'all, be prepared because the expectations. I said this long ago. All these people on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all these people got these crazy expectations.
39 touchdowns.
But I've seen
30. Somebody said it.
I've seen some of
Let me do the math real quick.
I've seen some of the women.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the women y'all carry on your arm, and y'all don't live your lives by the same expectations you're about to hold a 22-year-old to. Okay? You want real talk? And that's every platform. That ain't one. That's every platform. All right? And with those expectations these people have, they best be dating supermodels. These supermodels are bust. You want to talk? I don't want to see a dime piece. I want to see $100 bill on the table. All right? So, that's the expectations that are on this kid. So, I'm just saying, one of the truest things Ball Game ever said, and he said it with me and EM when we were on the other platform, and when he was actually pushing back on the Tua hate that other people were trying to bring. One of the truest things Ball Game ever said is he's a kid. Don't ever forget that. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Sorry for the reasons real rant, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't blame you at all. I mean, you guys been riding the Tua train since day one, so I got a lot of respect for that, man. In my opinion, I think your standards are probably higher than mine because all that I ask for is at least 170-ish yards and no turnovers, man. I don't care if he only has his one touchdown.
Honestly, Esteban, as long as the turnovers, fumbles lost, interceptions read 0.
Yep.
Even if we lose and he's efficient, I'm cool with that, bro.
That's all I want. I want efficiency. I want good decisions.
I agree. I don't want
for that.
I don't want.
Randy makes another great point, and I've said this point on stream, guys. Y'all remember it? Go back. Y'all need to go back. When you go back to all the training camp reports, guys, Matt Collins got his position. We could some of his success with the Dolphins in training camp was strictly attributed to Tua. Malcolm Perry became on everyone's radars. Why? Because of Tua. Myles Gaskin was working with Tua when he started elevating and he was doing things out of the passing game with him. All right, there's players right now that we can name on this training team that made the team, and some of the success they've had this year training camp to get to put them in the position they're in right now are attributed to Tua. But what's the one common theme with all those guys I named? They're third and second stringers. So this guy didn't have, Josh Rosen has not only more live snaps, but he has more training camp snaps than Tua does with the ones. You know what I mean? So that's another thing people got to take into consideration that I've said here, that he's also got to get comfortable with his ones. And that's why I think another reason of the bye week is perfect, because he gives you 2 weeks. And I've said this before, guys, if I knew, this is why another reason why it would have been smart to put a plan in place like I think they might have done. You got 14 padded practices all year. You can save a plethora of them for those 2 weeks that you have to prepare. And now you can put him in live action reps because he didn't get them really in the offseason. Other than obviously you can't hit the red-shirted quarterback, but I can put pads on for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That adds another dynamic level to getting him acclimated to where you need him to be. But yeah, man, I want y'all to realize and temper the expectations because it's a real thing. I was going to write a whole article for Brawl Network about this, and I had to 1,200 words into it, but I got caught up with this new podcast, and it is what it is now. I'm just giving y'all the gist of it. Temper your expectations. 500, even 4-6, but he's not turning the ball over and he's efficient is good. Trust me, even 3-7, but he's not turning the ball over and he's being efficient. That's not his problem. The 3-7 wouldn't be his problem. Guys, I'm telling you, like, tempered now, if he's a turnover machine, all right, let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think we're going to get that. So, yeah, man, everyone just needs to be prepared for hearing the nonsense. Y'all heard it here first, months before, or a month or weeks before it's going to happen, or maybe even 3 weeks before it's going to happen. So just prepare yourself, man.
So you mean to tell me the 39 touchdowns is unrealistic?
40.
Peyton Manning
39.
Peyton Manning is one of the greatest to ever do it and set the record that Baker tied in its 20s. And what's crazy is, and another thing, and here's another thing. Dolphin fans would have moved off Peyton Manning in year one. You know why? Because they would have been telling people to have him move off. Why? Because he finished with 26 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. We better get rid of him.
Yeah.
Let's be real here now. Tua needs to drop 50 touchdowns or he's a bust.
Can I share something with y'all? Because I got to get out of here.
I can't believe he's starting because I thought he was too big of a bum to beat out Josh Rosen, let alone Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's
a backup quarterback.
He's a second string quarterback. You know that.
Man,
he's a backup.
Honestly, I feel for me that this season starts over when he comes back, in my opinion. That's just how I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compare what he's doing.
0-0, basically, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to compare what he's doing to Fitz because he's a rookie. Yeah. And I don't care what Herbert's doing. I'm not going to compare him to Burrow because if all that matters is a W. If he comes out of here with a win and 170 yards, 1 touchdown, no turnover,
I'm good with that.
His stats were actually better than Kyler Murray's when he was in college. And one of the stats that stood out to me is turnovers, like his interception ratio.
Bro, he has an 8-to-1 interception to touchdown interception ratio, and he actually has the greatest touchdown interception ratio of any collegiate quarterback of all time. Just like he has the greatest overall career collegiate passer rating of all time. Like Joe Burrow set the individual season record, but Tua has the career record.
But some experts would say, what competition did he win against though?
Hey, here's another thing. And Kyle Krabs put out a great article today about it. If you actually watch, and shout out to Wayne, he says, I do not have stat expectations for Tua. Progression is what I'm looking to see. Minimize the bonehead plays and no repeat bonehead decisions. Agreed. He said, thank you for the $5 donation. But you know what? Kyle Krabs had a really good article today, and if you watch, and this is exactly what I was telling Mac Jones about Mac Jones last year when everyone's like, oh, Tua's a system quarterback. I'm like, okay, well, I was breaking down Mac Jones' deficiencies, and they weren't having the same success as when Tua left as they are like right now because they had a full off season to prepare with them. But if you look at Mac Jones, one thing, Mac Jones, you'll catch him flat-footed all the time. I can't remember one time I've ever seen Tua caught flat-footed. Like, there's mechanical issues. Like, Mac Jones doesn't have his touch. Mac Jones doesn't throw with his anticipation, doesn't throw with his ball placement. You know what I mean? So, like, if you look at Tua, you can go watch Alabama right now, and they're having success, but it's not the same type of success. Like, there's times like slants aren't consistently perfectly in stride anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're taken to the house, but they're not like as consistent, rhythmic one after another anymore. So like you look at Tua, I mean, we've had scouts on here, people that get paid to do this, and what have they said? That, we've had Alan Papar on here. Richmond Webb has said this. If Tua did not get hurt, he would be a Cincinnati Bengal right now. It wouldn't even be a question. Like, we got the best quarterback in this draft. And honestly, guys, here's another thing. What if me and EM tried to tell everyone for months and months and months because of the amount of tape we watched? We said, y'all, because of Herbert, because of Eason, and even because of Jordan Love, they're sleeping on Tua's arm. What did I tell all y'all? I said, especially on the slants over the middle. If you watch the Burrow tape and if you watch the Tua tape, the zip on the ball, that's why Burrow's balls are behind. That's why sometimes they're at the hip. That's why sometimes like they're just overthrown, overshot high or in front because he's putting way too much into it, and his mechanics are suffering because of it because he doesn't have smooth, flawless zip on his ball, and Tua has that. And you know what? It came out after this decision was made, not only about what Cameron Wolf said about a player saying he's having one or two plays at practice, but I think it was Jerome Baker or it was one of the defenders.
It was Jerome Baker.
It was Jerome Baker said he has a cannon. Like that was his literal words. Tua has a cannon.
He can make every throw.
Yeah, like everyone's sleeping on how hard we can throw a football. So, and you know why? And another people why some evaluators are. You know what? What's crazy? Some evaluators were trying to like his motion, his release point. And you know what's crazy? You know what someone did to dead all of that? And I'll find the video one day. They literally took Tua and they inverted him. And they made him look like a right-handed quarterback.
I remember that.
And it looked like perfect, flawless mechanics. It's just because your eyes are playing tricks on you because the last freaking left-handed quarterback to start in the NFL was Kellen Moore. Right? Like, so, you're just not used to seeing it, right? Like, if I showed you as poor as Chris Sims was, if I showed you film of Chris Sims, you'd like, yo, this looks weird, right? Y'all remember like how bad Tebow looked because it looked awkward that not only was he left-handed, but he had terrible mechanics. So he looked like even a couch potato could realize he was a mechanical disaster, right? So yeah, man. But what's going on, Havoc? How you doing?
I mean, that pass to Jakeem Grant looked pretty on point.
Yeah, man, and his third progression, I proved on stream right after identifying a mic, which Josh Rosen could do. After.
I mean,
and he moved the safety.
People just need to understand. If you're looking for reliable source of information from places that will tell you that a player is a bust before he's even played a game, from places that will tell you that he's one read, although when your first read is players like Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, your first read is usually pretty open.
Or Jerry
That's what
Jeudy.
The coach wants you to do.
Yeah,
or Jerry Jeudy. I didn't even mention him.
And Henry Ruggs. I mean, you got 4 first reads if you really think about it.
The man literally has NFL starters as his first read. Against Louisiana, Lafayette. Like, of course your first read is going to be open.
And they said Waddle's actually was the fastest one on the team when Ruggs was on that team.
That's a disgrace. That's the college Kansas City Chiefs right there, if that's actually true.
So I saw their unofficial Alabama Times. Henry Ruggs was 4.27, and Waddle was apparently 4.37. But that was from last year. I heard this year Waddle has ran in the 4.2s.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's Tyreek Hill, bro. The guy's Tyreek Hill, man. He's just bigger.
It's just
a little bit.
It's really just a matter of time. I think at the professional level, Tua will be whatever you put around him. I mean, if you put the pieces around him, he's gonna be able to, in no short words, light it up, in my opinion. But really, when we talk about expectations on him, we have seen John Beck. We have seen, Ryan Tannehill's rookie season. We've seen we gave Cleo Lemon a chance, for gosh sakes. We're out here trying to call Tua a bust.
Cleo
is a regional manager for Wingstop today. I'm trying to put guys in Wingstop. Come on now.
I'm sorry, Rhino mentioned somebody. Who's that?
Yeah, some guy named Rosen. We gave it a try. And
I don't know this
guys.
Sorry.
Why are we talking about that when right now
Havoc goaded me?
This is the actual deal, bro. All right. Have y'all seen this yet? Have you seen when I posted this?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You haven't seen this yet?
Play it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, I'll play it.
It's so amazing.
All right. You ready? All right. After you're done mourning Fitzpatrick's demotion, time to get back into that Tua starting mood. The Florida's natural, gotta love it.
And the best part about that is people in Florida don't drink Florida's natural.
Damn right we don't.
I go into someone's fridge in Florida. They got that Simply Orange
or Minute Maid.
You're right. I got Minute Maid.
Minute Maid, eh?
Minute Maid. Minute Maid. I thought
it's tropical. It's tropical.
I thought you got that Tropicana vibe.
Yeah, it's Tropicana or Simply Oranges. Well, I like all of Simply's different drinks. Even though Simply Fruit Punch is fire.
Yeah.
I do
but
too.
Speaking of Fitz, man, that whole interview thing. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, to me, he came with a sense of entitlement. I was like,
purposeful.
You just said that that you're just a
bridge.
Yeah, bridge quarterback. You said this before, and then as soon as you lose your job, it's like, oh, you just a complete U-turn.
I mean,
look.
It's like they said on Friday, man. You're gonna be upset when you lose your job on your day off. You know what I'm saying?
How you get fired? How you get fired on your day off?
How you get fired on your day off?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, man. Hey.
Yeah, Pops come around talking about how you get fired on your day off.
How the hell you get fired? How you get fired on your day off?
John
no, that's one of his kids.
They said they caught Fitz stealing boxes on camera. That's what happened, bro.
But I mean, I think just from the human standpoint, apparently, I'll say it's about Fitz, man, because for someone that's played for 8 different teams, exactly. you can safely say that that his spidey sense starts tingling when he knows he's about to lose his job. All right, I'm sure he's played a few games where he's like, I'm about to lose my job. But this year was something totally different. This year was something totally different. He's probably going home like, man, it's mid-season. I still got my job. Hold on a second, I got a phone call. Damn, I done lost my job on my day off. But
yeah, he knew something was up. His beard was tingling.
It's understandable, man. It's an understandable human emotion to go through. But I think,
just don't make it public, bro. Don't go public.
Yeah.
I think the professional is going to kick in.
That's a conversation. That's a conversation he need to have he needs to cry on his wife's shoulder. He should have left that. He should have took that home with him and left it.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And that's the only issue I have with it.
And also, that it just sends a negative vibe to the locker room, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Already sending a negative vibe in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he was just being honest, to be completely frank. I think he was just being honest. Like, usually this is something that, and usually, particularly you're talking about a high-contact sport, dudes just don't come out here and openly talk about their emotions.
No.
And I think that's why it looks so unfamiliar, because he was very honest about how he felt. But, he is a veteran. Ain't like he ain't been through this before. He will get over it. But I think he was just trying to express the emotional attachment he has as a leader to the team, not necessarily complaining, because from a logical standpoint, he knew this day was going to come, but usually his spidey sense starts tingling when he's about to lose his job. So this actually legitimately caught him off guard.
It should have been going off, because Tua coming in the game, I really thought was a message from when it came. I
think if my theory is accurate about Tua tearing up, practice,
it has to be too.
He should have seen this coming. He just like Flores and them see Tua 6 days a week. He sees him as well. He's right next
Baker saw it. Baker saw it.
Yeah, exactly. So he should have seen it. He should have seen, damn, this dude is just on another level. I can't make that throw. Damn, I can't make that throw. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
He couldn't make that throw. Fitz a million throws.
He knew. He told the world. He told the world a week ago.
Right.
Here's what I want to. I want the context of what Cameron Wolf said when he said he was making 1 or 2 wow plays. Was that with the number ones or as a scout offense? Mm-hmm. Because he could have got some reps with the number ones just in case something happened to Fitz, if it's because that would be interesting to see. Because even if he's again the scout defense, though you're facing scout offense, even though you're facing the Miami defensive playbook, you're facing the number ones.
Correct.
So if you're
Yeah,
making
that's
big
true.
plays against the number ones in the scout, even though you're
Exactly.
running the other team's offense, that makes things interesting.
I would think that would have to be assumed. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I would agree.
Well, it might be
would
both
agree.
because Cameron Wolf, if you read Cameron Wolf put out an article a couple weeks ago where he said they were basically going through plays with him, and Tua was noticing a lot of stuff that they were running was similar to what he ran at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Reason I have a question. A lot of people have been talking about it in chat. They want to know what we feel about, mainly you and EM, obviously, the notion that they pulled Fitz and put Tua in because they were scared of the narrative getting out that if we continue to win with Fitz, we'll never be able to get Tua in there. And
Skip Bayless is an idiot.
Fitz will get too much credit. Okay.
Don't ever listen to Skip Bayless when it comes to football, okay? Maybe listen to him basketball because he followed Michael Jordan around for like a year. But like when it comes to football, man, first of all, you're gonna take Dolphins advice from a Cowboys fan, all right? I gotta ask you what's wrong with you on that. I'm not talking to you, Ryan. I'm talking to
I
people that are
understand.
saying that. You know, first of all, if you guys look at historically, Skip Bayless is kind of a Tua hater when he was at Alabama.
Yeah,
right.
That's
He even said Jalen Hurts would be better than Tua last year. Okay,
he did.
So
He
I
did
want
say
whatever
that.
this guy's smoking because I don't know what.
When did he say that?
But remember last year he said Jalen Hurts would win the Heisman.
No, I'm talking about not getting, making this.
Today.
Today.
Oh, he said that today.
Yeah, it was on Twitter. They even the Undisputed put it on Twitter. See, not only was Shannon Sharp one of my favorite tight ends ever, I loved watching Shannon Sharp. Not only is the guy really well educated, well spoken, but he uses a couple things that Skip Bayless lost along the way, and I can't believe Ernstein puts up with them because he doesn't have them. And that's logic and, I mean, no pun intended, reason. That went out a while. I mean, that guy's losing a chromosome away from being, I don't know, is there an IQ lower than Forrest Gump? Because you might find that with this guy.
Diet Mountain Dew to the head.
He's drinking. That aspartame in the Mountain Dew. That aspartame in the Mountain Dew is rotting your brain out, and that's why Shannon keeps staying alive because he loses most of those bets, so he's good, right? But Skip, man, I don't even got to say the name, and you know what kind of narrative that's similar to. Like, that's on some absolute nonsense.
Apparently, Chris Sims.
You know what? I said what I said. Here's the thing. I said what I said earlier about the timing and how I feel Flores felt about it just because of the timing, but also because there was already a plan in place. Stick to the plan. Mm-hmm. That's part of the process is sticking to the plan put in place, right? It's just the plan got accelerated because of where they're at right now, but also because, at the same time, I do believe Flores, Greer, and Ross had this conversation, but I also do believe at the same time, if Tua was out there and didn't look ready or ready enough,
right?
Ross and Greer would also say, hey,
right.
Greer especially. Greer is the biggest Tua fan out of the three of them. He would say, yo, I ain't losing my ass on this kid. And Flores, at the same time, Flores, if I was Flores, and I know you don't have a lot of pull because you're a sophomore coach, and Ross owns the organization and Greer's been in it for so long that they could obviously pull rank. But Flores in the back of his mind is saying, hey, if this kid isn't ready enough and I start him, it could cost me my job. They're not going to go down. I'll go down because I'm the guy who made this change right in the middle of a playoff race. So, there has to be Flores has to have a level of comfort with making the switch. I just truly believe it was discussed and they came to the decision that this was going to happen at the bye, and the process and the plan just got accelerated, and they're happy enough with Tua's progress right now where they're okay with accelerating the plan. So go. Now, Flores may have a little part in his heart because of how much he loves Fitzpatrick, that, man, the guy's playing good, and his play in a normal circumstance wouldn't deem this pull if we hadn't drafted this kid at 5 overall and he's shown us what he's shown us. Sure. I'm sure that exists because of their friendship. That would be natural. That would be a hard thing. Just like you've heard coaches say when they fire coordinators that are their friends, it's a hard decision because you're a friend with the guy, right? So I'm sure there's a piece of him. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. And that's what this is. It's not only a sport, it's a business. So, you know,
Giants
they are going for it's the future of the organization full forward. Now, that may not hold true for Robert Hunt when Austin Jackson is healthy again. But again, I think if you want to go in comparison to Hunt in the right tackle position to Tua at the quarterback, I could probably safely assume that Tua is light years ahead in his development or where he is talent-wise at his position as opposed to where Robert Hunt is. And that's not an indictment on Robert Hunt. That's because Tua has the potential to be transcendent. I don't think Robert Hunt has the potential to be transcendent. Does he have the potential to be a Pro Bowl right guard? Sure. Of course, I've said that. But Tua has the potential to be transcendent and a legitimate franchise quarterback, and those aren't a dime a dozen. So I just want to clarify that wasn't an indictment on Hunt.
You know, I heard, you know, people on different platforms, they were talking about this whole big powwow, this meeting that Flores had with, you know, obviously Greer, Stephen Ross or whatnot. And the assumption was that, you know, the assumption was that they leaned on Flores, kind of pressured him to make this move at this time for whatever reason. I think that whole meeting, this is what I think what that meeting was about. Flores had a conversation, I'm sure, with his quarterback coach, with Chan Gailey, and I think this just didn't happen overnight. I think this is a reoccurring situation about, you know, Tua's development has improved dramatically, in my opinion. And I think what this meeting was about was that Flores went upstairs and I think he brought the idea of starting Tua to them as opposed to them bringing it to Flores. Because I think what he did was he went to them and he brought film. He sat down with both of them because again, consider where we are in terms of the division and in terms of Fitzpatrick's overall play, which has been good at this point. So I think that meeting, I truly believe this, and I could be totally off base and crazy for making this assumption. I think the meeting was about Flores was going to them and he was justifying why he wanted to make the move at this point in time. Right. That's what I think. So again, everybody was automatically assuming that it was the other way around. No, I think Flores went up and sat down with them and explained to them as to why are you making a move now?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like to me, particularly when I look at the interview that Tua had after he was named starting quarterback, and he said, you know, me and Flores, we usually watch film every Tuesday, like kind of like just him and Flores watch film together. That would lead me to believe that Flores is clearly giving, you know, Greer weekly updates on Tua's progress. If not, Greer is not watching him at practice personally. You know, clearly they're having that conversation weekly. This isn't, you know, Flores picking up the phone. Hey, I got all this stuff to tell you. You know, like they're all in tune to what's going on, and it's really just a matter of, you know, Tua checking off all the boxes. I think they had a development plan for him, and at a certain point, he's checked all the boxes. And the bye week, you give him, particularly the rookie quarterback, you give him an extra week to prepare. If you're looking at a place marker to say, you know what, we're going to evaluate his status being a starting quarterback with the team right at this point, will either, you know, it'll either be a yay or nay. And I feel like they got to the yay, because if you really look at it, at least in my opinion, they feel that at bare minimum, Tua Tagovailoa can match Ryan Fitzpatrick's production right now. Yeah. At bare minimum, they feel that he can do that.
Absolutely.
With the projection to do better eventually. So it was an obvious move to make, in my opinion. I mean, clearly they had their own plans, and clearly when I hear that the leak didn't even come from the Dolphins organization, it came from Tua's people, that lets me know that, you know, the Dolphins clearly had a plan and how to do this. Flores said himself, you know, I wasn't able to tell the rest of the team personally. Ryan Fitzpatrick's kids telling them that, oh, we just found this out a few hours ago. I'm sure, the league kind of ruined the rollout a little bit, but the decision is the same nonetheless. So, it is what it is. I feel like, Fitz, he knew it was coming, but, it still hurt. It is what it is. He's still the oldest player on the team. He's still looked at, in a certain light by the rest of the team. I don't think any of that's gone away. As a matter of fact, I think him, carrying his emotions on his sleeve is actually endearing him more to the guys in the locker room. That shows him how personally invested he was in the team. When he just gets paid to play quarterback. It just shows how personally invested he was in everyone making progress, particularly with Tua. So, I feel like we will all get over this in a few days. We're just bored.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to talk about something.
Yeah.
Boring. This game on tonight is boring as hell.
Yeah, man.
Well, the NFC. There's a reason why they call it the NFC least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro, that whole division is gonna be top 5 picks.
That whole division is top of the lottery.
Yep.
Man, yeah. What happened? Daniel Jones had a big run and he tripped over his shoelaces.
Man, all I know is somebody got sacked.
Let me pose this question to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, with all this, this is with the trade deadline.
What a
with
throw.
with the trade deadline looming, and it's a lot of chatter going on about potential teams pulling this trade and for this player, et cetera, et cetera. If the Dolphins ought to make a move at some point, what direction do you think they should? What move do you?
Oh, I'll start. I'll say what I said before we went live, because the Vikings are having a fire sale. I'm calling about Adam Thielen. And I'm willing to pony up a second for Adam Thielen.
Their first or second?
What?
The higher second or the lower second?
I don't care. You can take whichever one you want. Because I don't know if I'm not going to find as NFL ready wide receiver. He's locked down on a contract right now, I'm pretty sure. And like I told EM, he's basically if Wes Welker had better size and was a wide receiver one, that's what Adam Thielen basically is. Adam Thielen's so consistent. I mean, you want to talk about, you put him in the slot with DVP on the outside, and then you got you go 4 sets, right? To have him and Gesicki in the slot on either side, go DVP on the other side, and then on the other side, Preston, you're talking about, look at the weapons you've now provided for Tua Tagovailoa.
I can't debate that, but if I'm with that same team, who I'm making a phone call.
He's hurt, Nico. Nico said Eric Kendricks. He's hurt right now.
No, I'm calling about Michael Pierce.
Good call,
That's
though.
what I'm calling about.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I know they just moved off Yannick Ngakoue. I thought they're probably thinking like, oh, Daniel Hunter, Yannick Ngakoue, we're gonna run this thing, but Hunter's still hurt. He ain't coming back anytime soon. He just got his second opinion.
He's done for the season.
He's done for the season. Yeah, I know. He's
getting surgery.
He tried to get a second
He's going to be in a contract year, so they're going to be trading him probably.
Yeah.
He's coming off back-to-back 14.5 sack seasons.
I mean, I would say
I don't want Odell Lakers all day, and I don't think they're going to trade him.
Yeah, I don't want Odell either.
Although the Browns should probably, look into doing something.
And that's right, Nico. EM Michael Pierce opted out. Remember?
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember that because I remember his announcement. He was one of those guys who signed a deal, and there was a couple guys that did that.
I mean, I know the Dolphins are always on the phone. They stay on the phones, but I'd be surprised if they pull off anything significant, to be honest with you.
And Snacks turned us down.
Yeah, from the practice squad.
So
yeah, he was like, we'll let you play. He's like, I'm good. I'm gonna just
He turned on the Bucks too.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna just chill on this practice squad, not take these hits, and around the end of the season or so, I'll come out.
Well,
It's clear though with Le'Veon, they were going to give him 2 years, so they're willing to invest in a weapon if it presents itself.
I agree.
And again, that tells you the mindset of the staff. They feel like they can win this year. They truly believe that. You don't make moves like that if you don't think you can win.
I didn't know that.
Be competitive.
Nico's dropping the Michael Pierce knowledge. He said Michael Pierce has a heart condition.
Wow.
That's why he didn't play because of the COVID. Because
I did not know that.
Oh
That's a
wow,
heart
I did not know that either.
Oh snap diggity!
Man,
but yeah,
well,
I mean, if you could get we won't trade him, but if you hope they get out of the playoff race and they lose, but they just won, you knew who would have been perfect because he's having such a great season, and you thought they would have sucked with Luck going down, and then they come back is Shelby Harris.
Yeah.
Shelby Harris is balling out right now, and that's a guy. That's a guy who can play that position if you need him to.
Man, they out here calling me the CEO of Wingstop out here in the comments, man. I stopped putting guys at Wingstop weeks ago, but
hang on, fellas, I'll be right back.
But I mean, I should open up a milk company because Jordan Howard has been on the side of a carton all season long. That being said, you saw particularly with the Le'Veon Bell thing how quickly they would be enticed to drop him. So if they do make a move, realistically, is there a top tier running back that's on the market that the Dolphins can make a move for right now?
Wow,
Probably not.
you just draft Najee Harris.
Yeah, probably not. So
What's Julio Jones worth?
I don't want that contract. I'm
Not
good.
touching him.
No, I'm
Neither.
good. Contract, and he's starting to get banged up yearly now too.
he's like 31 now, something like that.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley is
Long
clearly.
in the tooth.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley is clearly, and I remember I said this a couple weeks ago, and people were like, "Oh, what do you mean, Julio?" When I said Calvin Ridley is clearly the number one there now.
Yeah, I mean, Julio was holding it down for a long time, and Julio knows the game because he took the crown from Roddy White, so he knows the game.
Yeah, but
I ain't trying to pay that man though.
Julio could have had a ring, but they had to go to the Patriots.
I mean,
If I could have anybody, he plays for the enemy, but I like Cole Beasley as a slot receiver. He's just
okay.
got a lot of heart, man. Dude's got a lot of heart. He brings it every game.
Yeah, man. And he drops mixtapes while in the league.
Powerhouse. I don't think you're going to be able to get Matt Judon. He's just signed, and he's not your ideal zero tech.
Not that Landry's on the trading block, but if that was an option, you take it.
Yeah,
I said it. I said, give me.
And how much?
I already said this like a couple weeks ago.
Give me. I don't want no dang Odell.
Like a fourth, fifth.
Yeah,
Nice.
fifth.
Yeah, you would not have to break the bank to get Jarvis if they were selling him.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
But he's still highly productive.
Adam Thielen would be the absolute move.
I mean,
that guy ran Stephon Diggs out of town.
If I'm Minnesota, man, it's.
You got
it
Justin
appears-
Jefferson for your rebuild.
Yeah,
You're good.
it appears the flavor of the month is tanking right now. So
Man, I'm seeing all these people getting these PS4s from Burger King. I just feel bad for Habit, man, because he ain't got
PS5?
PS5s from Burger King. He can win one.
Man, talk about what I just had for dinner today, trying to get a PS5.
Trying to look.
You had a Burger King?
Oh,
Did you have the Whoppers?
big.
Yeah, it was a chicken sandwich. Still,
Okay, the original one?
Cortland Sutton's hurt, Dwayne. Like he's on IR, bro.
Joking, man.
y'all need to get off
get one.
the Burger King.
So,
Really, though.
I'm hungry now, man.
we do need to get off the Burger King. Burger King also needs to stop giving away PS5s.
Yeah.
And I'm
you just
desperate.
You just got to stand in line and wait for them, like I did, Havoc.
Well, the thing is, the GameStops aren't open up here.
There is no line.
Yeah,
Oh,
there ain't
that
no
sucks.
stores either. So,
Yo, I'll add you. I'll re-add you on my PS5 online when I get it, bro. I'll share the screen with you so you can experience it with me.
oh, that's much appreciated, Reason.
Go live and do that shit.
You can
Be better.
pull out your PlayStation 4 controller and pretend like you're playing.
You just gotta. I'm gonna just run your PS share on my projector, and I'm gonna have my controller in my hands.
Press square, reason. Press square.
I would never do that.
Just paint your controller white, and it'll be a PlayStation 5 controller.
Yeah, man. I'm salty about it, but
I'm good. I can wait.
So Lakers all day is like in love with OBJ. Do you guys think OBJ is a top 5 wide receiver right now?
Right now, no.
not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah,
At one point he was.
I got a question for y'all. Like, in all seriousness, I got a question. I watch enough Cowboys games because I live in Texas, obviously, and y'all been talking about fire sale. Man, the Cowboys have some players on that defense that I would snag. One of them would be Antoine Woods, and the other would be Van Der Esch, the linebacker. I know he's had some injuries, but what do y'all think about those players?
He's just coming back from injury right now, Van Der Esch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, if I'm calling the Cowboys, I'm calling about Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'll say,
yes.
you know what? You want some cap relief? Okay, let me take Jalen Smith off your hand.
Yeah, that would be my choice too.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. I was just thinking, like, realistically, I thought maybe one of those two we'd actually be able to get him.
Yeah, but the Cowboys don't really like adhere to like that fire sale mentality, right? They just write it out and reload. You know. But I mean, like I said, man, the Dolphins are always working the phones. So if something comes up, man, I would not be surprised at all.
Hey, man, the Texans weren't too smart. I'm just saying.
Well, who was in charge of that organization?
Yeah, no. Man,
So, y'all want to hear something crazy? So do y'all remember what we traded for Josh Rosen?
Yeah, second.
Do you know what number the second pick was?
72?
It was 62, okay?
62, okay.
62, okay.
Do y'all remember who went 64?
Ruggs, right?
No, Ruggs was this year.
Ruggs is this year, right?
In the first.
Hold on.
I don't know.
It's
DK Metcalf went
Damn.
64th overall.
Why you
And
gotta
if
do
you
that?
compare DK Metcalf and Calvin Johnson's first 21 career games, Metcalf has 80 receptions to Johnson's 73. Metcalf has 1,396 yards to 1,287 for Johnson, 12 touchdowns to 8. And you look at the yards per reception, very similar. You look at the catch percentage. I mean, I want to hear where all the Josh Rosen truthers are at right now, trying to validate giving up a 62 for that bust, who we all told you he was exactly what he was. And we missed out on a player like this, not to mention some pretty good offensive linemen. But, I mean, you look at our wide receiver core right now, and then you look at this.
Wow.
That's a painful pill to swallow.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah.
We traded for a practice.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you, Josh. Thanks for coming to Miami, Josh. You're like if Ray Finkel was a quarterback and didn't get to the Super Bowl and couldn't win a game.
Ray Finkel.
Like, you're going to come into my
NBA player that Stephen A was always getting on about.
Oh, Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown.
Slava Medvedenko.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Was Kwame Brown, was he the one that was Michael Jordan's first executive pick?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Michael Jordan ain't the Michael Jordan of executives.
No. Where did EM go?
Say again?
I mean,
EM.
He said he'd be back. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Usually he said that last time and he never came back. So
yeah, usually I see him the next show when I hear that.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold our breath or we might not make it to the end of the show.
Next show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's. I mean, like I said, and if I'm the Dolphins, if they're gonna make a move, because I don't really see them offloading anyone except if you can get anything for Jordan Howard, please. I mean, literally take it. If you can get a 7th for Charles Harris, but I'm not really looking for them to do much come the trade deadline. I think, particularly you're talking about in a rebuilding year, they're not necessarily like, we need to make this move as the cherry on top. You know, there's still a number of moves they need to make before you start talking about serious Super Bowl contention. So, you know, I think the trade deadline is going to come and go.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing.
I don't think so.
We're not gonna trade Howard for a bag of chips or fun size sneakers. I mean,
What about a bag of footballs?
What about a bag of candy corn for Halloween?
listen.
What about a washing machine?
Yeah,
Watch the
hey, in the comments, what would you trade Jordan Howard for? You know?
You know what we need to do? We need to trade him for a tackling dummy.
Bro, at this point,
That's essentially what he is in practice.
I'll take a bottle of baby oil for our trainer to use on Austin Jackson's injury, bro. Like, at this point, just give me something for this guy.
Yeah, man. But, you know, if you look at successful franchises, man, you got a lot of good moves. You got some stinkers, too. It's part of the process.
You gotta love when the stinker is someone you almost give $5 million a year to.
Yeah, that hurts.
All right, guys, we're almost about to hit 2 hours. Let's go through final thoughts because I don't think EM is coming back. Let's all be honest with ourselves. All right, Rhino, let's start with you with your final thoughts, brother.
Yeah, I think it's a media thing going on with how they're going to react in the locker room to how Fitz, came out and spoke. I think, like I said, they love him and they're really excited about Tua. And I think the biggest issue was that it got leaked, and I think Flo took care of that when he got a chance to meet up with the entire team and talk to them. So it's fins up, and the Tua train's coming. It's going to be exciting. It's a full train. There's no more room for anyone. They can enjoy the ride, but they can't come on.
I like how you're saying right now. Esteban, what's good, bro?
No, man, y'all. Thanks for having me on. And Pyro, you're slacking on that root against the Texans. At the end of your comment, man, you slacked up on it last time, so I'll say it for you.
Wow.
Always root against the Texans, bro. It's so true.
Doesn't count.
Why you slow down though when you said it like that?
I'll do it. Let the pro have. Just go ahead.
Give it to it, man.
Yo, Havoc, what's going on, bro?
Before I start, Pyro, do you have anything to interrupt before I start my final thoughts?
Anyway,
Okay. So, I'm just trying to get out the way before you do it right in the middle, right when I get my steam going. But at the end of the day, it is fins up all day, every day, 365 days a year. Shout out to Australia, Western
Twice
Australia,
on Sundays, bro.
Perth, Sydney City, Melbourne, Torquay, the Gold Coast. You know the vibes.
New Zealand.
Bro, add New Zealand to your thing. See, this is what happens every time.
The lamb.
Every time I get on my final thoughts,
It's
like
part of the shout out by now.
it's like a final thoughts
Now,
roundtable.
get on Rhino. Get on Rhino now. I ain't say anything. Get on Rhino.
You're talking.
You guys
Anyways.
blame on me about the run game. Now get on Rhino.
Anyways, man. I don't have a whole lot to say. It's fins up. Appreciate all the support for No Passes Given.
No passes given.
Shouts to Wing.
Shout out. Drop the. You can drop the link in the comment,
doubt.
Rhino, because I know you got it pasted and ready to go. Pyro, what's going on, bro?
Man, all I gotta say is, Fitz, stop being a baby, man. You already knew when you first got signed again that you're not going to make it, man. Let's be real here. It's Tua's team. It was never Fitzpatrick's team now. Let's be real. I'm tired of. I don't want no controversy in this locker room. You already hurting this man. He's not even hit the field yet. You already sacked him, and he didn't hit the field yet. But anyways, you already know. Always, and I mean always. That's the one you got to work on this. Root against the Texans.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna drink some water and practice. All right,
Rhino,
man.
do you have?
Pause. Got to pause.
Do you have your? No comment. Rhino, do you have? Oh my god, no comment at all. Rhino, do you know how many likes we're sitting at right now? Do you have it open?
Yeah, let me check.
This guy.
Mine
Too
says
easy,
140.
Pyro.
Okay,
Mine says
89.
90. Mine says 90.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're at 90 likes. We got 147 in the room. Smash the like button. Havoc's channel just was dropped in the link in the comment section by Rhino. We got him up to 50. Let's keep it rolling, guys. And then, as y'all know, it just dropped not too long ago. Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, whatever your major podcast outlet is. I'm just going to bring up Spotify. Go search Dolphins Brawl, and the latest episode is entitled "To a Time," and it's me, Mr. Ballgame, and of course the legendary Richmond Webb. We go over the Jets game, to his debut. We talk about what Fitz said with that sound bite earlier, and we play the sound bite, and it's about an hour and look at number one is starting on November 1st, and this episode just happened to be an hour and 11 minutes. So that if that ain't worth you checking it out, I don't know what is. Go check it out. It's entitled "Two at Times," the latest episode. Listen to what Richmond has to say about it. It's some pretty insightful stuff, guys. Other than that, I'm probably going to be back Saturday night with the film analysis, just because this show obviously threw a wrench. It's done, so I'm going to just space it out. And I'll be coming back Saturday night with the top 25 draft eligible prospects that Dolphin fans should be watching. All right. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be nice, man. Y'all enjoy it. Trust me, I gave EM a little preview, and he's like, oh, that's what the deal is. And that is what the deal is. So I'll see y'all Saturday night. Until then, go check out The Finish Line with me, Richmond Webb, and Ballgame on your favorite podcast outlet. And until next time, y'all already know what time it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day. And, we'll see y'all in 2 days. Enjoy your bye week, guys.
Two time.
Draft hair.